What's going on? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to talk about in Curtis Blaydes' most recent interview. He says if he wins this fight against Tom Aspinall or lose this fight against Tom Aspinall, he would be more than welcome to welcome Alex Pereira to the UFC heavyweight division. Curtis Blaydes said in his interview that he is one of the worst matchups currently in the UFC heavyweight division for Alex Pereira because of his size and his IQ to just go down there and take Alex Pereira down and not make a big deal about losing the striking department. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. 98% of my viewers who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please go down there and hit the subscribe button. Let's jump right into this video about Alex Pereira possibly fighting Curtis Blaydes up at in the UFC heavyweight division, and Curtis Blaydes saying that this would be an easy fight for him. Yesterday, Curtis Blaydes was asked in his interview prior to UFC 304 if he would be interested in welcoming current UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira to the UFC heavyweight division, and Curtis Blaydes unhesitantly said yes, and he said that he is an awful matchup for Alex Pereira, and he said that he would just take him down and lay on him, and this fight doesn't really have to do anything about skill, rather than that Curtis said he is bigger than Alex Pereira, and I 100% agree with Curtis Blaydes. You look at some of the hardest matchups for Alex Pereira currently in the UFC heavyweight division. There is 3 people that Alex Pereira I don't think could beat, and those people are Tom Aspinall, John Jones, and Curtis Blaydes. And the reason that all of these guys I don't think he can beat them is they all have they're all incredibly intelligent, and they all have a wrestling jiu-jitsu game in their back pocket. We all know that Curtis Blaydes in the striking department versus Alex Pereira would get absolutely cooked, but one takedown is all it would need for Alex Pereira to go night-night in that standpoint, because Curtis Blaydes has some of the nastiest ground and pound in the UFC, let alone in the UFC heavyweight division. Curtis Blaydes is a lot bigger than Alex Pereira, and that's something that is crazy to say because Alex Pereira is a massive guy, but he is only in the light heavyweight division where Curtis Blaydes is a natural UFC heavyweight. Currently, you look at the biggest UFC heavyweights in the division, and you got Tom Aspinall, you got Alexander Volkov, and Curtis Blaydes is right up there. Curtis Blaydes is a big dude. And you looked at his fight against Sergey Pavlovich where he didn't shoot and he got absolutely destroyed. But I think if he mauled Sergey a little bit, if he took him down and he used that wrestling ability, he would have gone on there and truly dismantled Sergey Pavlovich. But looking at a fight between Curtis Blaydes and Tom Aspinall, I do see Curtis Blaydes coming out on top if he does stick to his game plan of going and shooting immediately. One of the reporters asked Curtis Blaydes if he was worried about Alex Pereira's flying knee, which we all know that Alex Pereira knocked out Blaydes in his UFC debut at UFC 268 in Madison Square Garden, and Curtis Blaydes kind of dismissed the flying knee, and I can 100% understand that. His response was he got flying kneed by Alistair Overeem. If you know who Alistair Overeem is, he is an absolute giant of a human being, and there was no way he was not off PEDs when he was fighting in the UFC organization, when he was the champ Alistair Overeem. So Curtis Blaydes thinks he can take a shot from Alex Pereira for that flying knee, and I do think that he genuinely can take a shot like that from Alex Pereira, but if Curtis Blaydes gets caught on the feet, this fight is going to be over immediately if it does happen. Alex Pereira, we all know, has nuclear power. He's got so much technique in everything that he does, and Curtis Blaydes being in a striking match with Alex Pereira is an absolute death wish. But if Curtis Blaydes can get this fight to the ground, this fight would be over before you know it. Like I said, Alex Pereira is a UFC kickboxer, and he doesn't really have that the tried and true grappling and wrestling ability that a lot of these mixed martial artists have. He started the game of mixed martial arts very late compared to a lot of these other fighters, and truly I think Alex Pereira is going to have a very hard time with Curtis Blaydes. Ultimately, a fight between Curtis Blaydes and Alex Pereira is something that I would love to see as a headline of a UFC pay-per-view main event. I really do hope John Jones vacates the title, and if Curtis Blaydes does end up going out there and beating Tom Aspinall and John does vacate the title, that is 100% the fight to make Alex Pereira versus Curtis Blaydes for the UFC heavyweight title. We all know that Alex Pereira kind of just said that he doesn't want to focus on the heavyweight title, but the amount of pay-per-view buys that this fight would have would be absolutely astonishing. You have Alex Pereira having the ability to capture, be the first ever fighter to be a 3-division champion in the UFC. We all know he beat Israel Adesanya to capture the middleweight crown. He beat Yuri Prochazka the first time and then defended it twice against Yuri and Jamal Hill in the light heavyweight division, but Curtis Blaydes is a different opponent than all of these guys. He's a lot bigger, he's a lot smarter, and yes, he might not have the striking ability like Jamal Hill or Yuri Prochazka, but his takedown and his top control and ground and pound is absolutely deadly, and Alex Pereira is going to have to watch out for that, but I do think Curtis Blaydes ultimately gets the win over Alex Pereira if this fight does end up happening after UFC 304 in Manchester. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think about Curtis Blaydes' comments about a possible fight with Alex Pereira, saying that he's going to shoot immediately, take Alex Pereira down, and it's going to be a very bad day for Alex Pereira inside the UFC heavyweight division, especially fighting someone as big as himself, Curtis Blaydes, in his first fight at UFC heavyweight. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, this UFC content. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. 98% of my viewers who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please go down there and hit that subscribe button. It would mean an absolute ton. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please go hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there subscribing, please hit the post notifications button just so you guys are always notified when UFC content and news releases, because I try to get out the UFC content and news as soon as it releases. So please go down there and turn on the post notifications so you guys can be the first to hear about UFC news and content. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA. Please leave a comment down below and I will try to respond to as many as possible. And I will see you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.